in session.
Hello, everyone. I'm Holly Herbert. First up today, a CJ exclusive. As Whitney Houston breaks her silence on prime time, her father breaks his silence only to CJ on why he's suing his own flesh and blood. Pat Lalama reports.
It was an extraordinary show of emotion from the usually media-resistant Whitney Houston. But now she's openly driven to tears when speaking to ABC's Diane Sawyer about her father's $100 million lawsuit against her.
Do you feel betrayed?
Now from his hospital bed in New York, an ailing John Houston, the father of Whitney, broke his silence about the suit against his daughter and wanted to talk only to CJ. He claims he worked tirelessly to try and keep Whitney off of drugs and negotiated one of her most lucrative business contracts, only to be tossed aside and unrewarded.
I never thought about suing my daughter. I never thought about it that way. I thought about suing the corporation that belongs to Whitney. And she happened to be right in the middle of it. You get your act together, honey. And you pay me the money that you owe me. If you do that, you haven't got a lawsuit. I need to guarantee myself against poverty. And at my age, I haven't got that long. Now, if you think I got that long, you think about it. You step into my shoes.
And what about Whitney's trouble-plagued husband, Bobby Brown? John Houston has some very blunt words about Brown's role in his daughter's life. Hear more of our exclusive John Houston interview tomorrow.
Hello, everyone. I'm Holly Herbert. First up today, a CJ exclusive. You may have seen Whitney Houston shed tears on prime time over the bad blood with her father, but only CJ was in John Houston's hospital room hearing from the man himself on why he's suing his daughter for $100 million. Carlos Diaz has the story.
Holly, for the first time, Whitney Houston's father on camera and on the record. 82-year-old John Houston from his hospital bed in New York telling Celebrity Justice how on earth it could come to this, a $100 million lawsuit between a frail old man and his superstar daughter.
I told her what I wanted, and she agreed to it. Okay, Daddy, I'm tired of being hurt. I'm tired of being in a neglected state.
Houston versus Houston, the $100 million lawsuit with bad blood all over it. John Houston telling CJ a deal's a deal, even if it's between a father and his only daughter.
You get your act together, honey. And you pay me the money that you owe me.
Hard-nosed talk from a man who still loves his famous daughter, but feels old and sick and forgotten.
Too many years to be sitting around waiting for somebody to complete a financial proposition with you.
The lawsuit claims Houston Sr. and business partner Kevin Skinner had an agreement with Whitney to advise her through tough times, like her marijuana charge in Hawaii.
Nobody was going to get famous prosecuting a Whitney Houston. It just wasn't going to happen.
Houston says he believes one of Whitney's key influences is her husband, Bobby Brown.
He's part of the reason. Why wouldn't he be?
This is just for me.
One of Those Days, a new release from Whitney Houston's latest album, evokes some of the many problems that have plagued the star over the years. But the lawsuit against her by her own father is the only subject that prompted the singer to choke up on ABC's Primetime.
When you think it's the dad who dressed you and walked you down the aisle, what are you thinking?
Stop, please.
Sure.
Thanks.
Celebrity Justice New York producer Jerry Wagshall says John Houston has no choice but to answer his daughter's primetime performance.
He was not eager to talk. He said to me, actually, he said, you know, I don't want to do this. I have to do this.
I need to guarantee myself against poverty. And at my age, I haven't got that long.
So what did John Houston think about seeing his daughter on ABC? Well, he tells CJ, quote, they let Whitney get away with murder. In his opinion, it was a fluff interview. But as far as the tears she shed about the lawsuit, he says he thinks that those were real, adding, she's no phony. Now, as far as what Whitney Houston thinks about her father John going public with this story, a publicist for Whitney Houston tells CJ Whitney loves her father very much and has no intention of trying this case in the press.